Well, looks like I found a problem with the coolant temperature sensor gauge. I just want to say a couple other tips on here for other people, because you might not find such a simple problem as I found. I couldn't believe this. I was like, ugh. I cleaned the end. Well, look at this. I says, let me make sure that I use pins. I don't like sticking big needles in wires. I use like little needles, so it doesn't do hardly any damage to the outside of the rubber. So I got this side, I got that connected to the ohm meter, and the other side just going along a short length of wire just to make sure that the pins are connected. The pin is connected there. So I touch that. Okay, that means that pin is connected. No problem, right? I go down here and I check the damn freaking that right there, right? It's the very end of the freaking wire is no good. I cleaned the connection, but something is, it looks okay. Somehow right inside there it's no good. I'm like, holy shit. So anyway, but just to let you know some other things I found out here about, if you're doing this temperature gauge, because I didn't know what, if you look at the wiring diagram, it tells you one thing, but I still don't know what pin or what does what on the gauge, and I found out what they are, so let me tell you what they are. Okay, so, the whole battery's out of the car, but this would be where the temperature gauge goes, these 3 pins. That pin is positive, that's your ground, and this pin goes to the temperature sensor on the engine. So while I was doing all this crap, not only did I clean all these, but I cleaned a lot of the connections below with electromotive cleaner. I just unconnected them, electromotive cleaner down there, and I don't know. I assume it's going to work. The fuel temperature, the fuel gauge seemed to be okay actually. It always read kind of high. I think I filled it up like to the very brim with cans. Now it's staying full. It seems like it's going down a little bit. And I says, well, it's working. That's how it used to work. So I got all gauges except for the tack. I got to get two 100 ohm meters. Two 100 ohm resistors. I'm going to try to fix that instead of buy another one. But I'll go over that in a separate video. But just to let you know what those pins are for, because if you're trying to trace this damn thing, you're like saying, what the hell's going on? That's your positive, that's your ground, that's your sensor feed, whatever it is. Now on this one, this should be your positive for your fuel gauge. I'm assuming that's your ground. That should be going to the sender unit. Okay, this is your voltmeter. This one's the positive, that one's a negative. And this one is your oil pressure gauge. This one's the positive, and it should work the same way. The middle one is your ground. Then this one should be the sender unit. Pretty sure of it. Almost sure of it. Almost 100% sure. But this one, the temperature gauge is positive, ground, and that one is the green wire going out to your coolant temperature sensor. So the very end of the wire was no good. The very oh my God, what do you expect? I mean, freaking damn, that's where the manifold is, right? So I don't know. It looked good, but it wasn't good. And here I'm tracing that's the last thing I checked. I couldn't believe that. Well, here we go. It should be working though. Should be working. Yeah, and I'd use a little bit of Loctite blue on the 4 bolts or 5 bolts that hold the main console in. It looks like they had Loctite blue on it. Also, what I'm going to do is this windshield wiper switch. They work, and the dimmer switch, the light switch. I'm going to spray them down real good with electronic cleaner, and you know, move them like this. You can see the mechanism in there. See that? I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but I'm going to spray that down good. It might work, it might make the dimmer work better and all that type of stuff too, so without replacing the switch. So and if it'll go back together, because you can see I got everything marked really well. You know, every stupid thing is well marked. So I won't screw this up, I know that, but it should work, because that definitely, that one part down there is definitely what would do it. I mean, it was, and also it pulled off these connections, cleaned them up really good. There's another connection there I got to put back on. I cleaned them up with electronic cleaner, kind of, you know, wiped them down with what looked like a soft bristle stainless steel brush. Should make it pretty good. Like I said, I just want it to work right. That's what I'm really caring about, just as long as it works good.